Welcome to the Unicorn Circuit, your weekly dose of car news, Fanking, mytown, your town, everyone's amazing town.
I'd like to say what the rest of that list is, but I can't actually see the list because I don't know where it went.
Yeah,
I
don't
just full
know
free
either,
ball
but
today.
we're full.
Absolute free ball internet wastage.
Absolute. That's what the Swiss do.
Really?
Absolutely
right,
wasting
on the
their
Alps.
time.
Yeah.
By the way, people, you may have seen on the World's Best Four-Wheel Driving channel, our other channel, we've got chopped hats in camo because you wanted them. You're like, give it to us. Here it is. We've got these. And we also have these new T-shirts because we are the world's best four-wheel driving channel. That would make you the world's best four-wheel driver. So we've got you a T-shirt.
The other channel is the world's best four-wheel driving channel. This is the world's best
Fanking channel.
Fanking channel. I'm talking a whole lot of rubbish for a long time. And strap yourselves in, people, because today's going to be a long one.
And if you get a hat and a shirt at the same time, the first 100 people that do that, or for a limited time
get
only,
the new thing.
we're going to give you one of these for free. Do you know what's in there, Martin?
Yep.
Look at that. It's a Mighty Car Mods detailing brush kit. So grab yourself a camo hat,
extra clean.
grab yourself a world's best 4x4 driver shirt, and if you're super lucky, you will get one of those. Martin, we got a massissive show today.
A big one.
We've got
There's
the
so
biggest
much news.
Fanks we've ever had.
Yeah, well, the biggest conspiracies we've ever had as well. Freshly cooked up.
We've also got a huge unboxing to do as well.
Yep.
And is there anything, Martin, you want to get off your chest before we start? Because your left eye is twitching. It's actually going twitch, and there's shit on your hat.
No.
You don't have to talk about things, or do you want to talk about later? I just don't want to. I feel like there's an elephant in the room. Do you need to address it or not? Later?
Yeah. No,
later?
now.
No, later. Let's
All right, let's see how we go. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Do you need to...
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Maybe it's story time.
Really?
Let's go story time. I think that's the most relevant place to put my
You've
story.
got an electric vibe about you today, Martin.
No.
You're
not
all
at
zingy
I
downstairs.
do have some electric car news, Rain.
Oh, no.
Remember when you needed rain fingers because it was like unusual, and
now that's all there is.
That's the only news that exists.
Yeah, the
that
car
brings
news
me
is
to my
pretty
news story,
rubbish
which
at the moment.
we'll
I
get
mean,
to.
you can get a green GR86 now, and I think the BT50 is getting a facelift.
Fantastic. I was waiting for that. I was waiting with bated breath.
The Tiguan's getting replaced with a Tayron.
Oh, good. Another stupid name from Volkswagen. I mean, what else could you expect?
And that's about the news.
They
no,
literally peaked with Up.
That's pretty good.
Can you think of a better name for a car than an Up? Everything about it's positive. Up yours, like just excellent,
yes.
isn't it?
With an exclamation mark.
Yes, it's so happy.
Is that the only car name with an exclamation mark in it?
Oh, that's a good point. Someone will know this.
You know what I mean? Because what you could do is you could get a BRZ and then 86 question mark.
No, crap.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, do you think
it's
that would
like,
be good?
Is it really?
I don't think it'd be good.
Oh, no, I don't think it'd be good. But these days, you've got to use kooky things to sell cars.
Do you know what I
because
don't
the cars can't
understand?
sell themselves.
We're diverging.
Let's go into the news and then tell us. Or no? Tell us now.
Land Rover Discovery.
Oh, no,
What's
Martin,
a Discovery?
don't. We just
Why
spoke about
does
this.
Discovery Sports and Discoveries both say Discovery, but they're completely different cars?
Isn't
Like,
the
what
Sport
is
the
that?
shit one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But the Land Rover Sport's the good one.
The Range Rover Sport is the good one.
Yeah.
Which is based on the same chassis as a Discovery 5.
Isn't that a turbo V8 thing?
Yeah, with a V8 twin turbo diesel thing, and it's kind of good. And
Yes.
there's petrol ones too, I think.
Wait on, that's a Land Rover Sport.
That's a Range Rover Sport.
A Range Rover Sport is a good one.
Car
But the
names.
Land Rover Sport is like cheap and shit.
It's just like an SUV.
But
It's
it
not-
can't do anything off-road properly. It can't tow and do stuff.
I think it's a soft roader, like no different to a RAV4 or a Amarok.
What are you talking about?
What?
Why are we talking about that?
We're talking about car names and car names that don't
Oh,
make
are
sense,
we?
and how Up exclamation mark is actually peak car name. And I'm just gonna. I don't even like Volkswagens much, but I'm just gonna say that is.
It's not peak car name. It's,
And why
it's
is it so
peak
much
car.
better than Audi car names? Audi car names are the most boring thing ever.
They're dumb.
RS3, A3, A4. Oh, this one's a bit bigger.
S4.
But the A5 is not at all.
See,
We
3's a
can make a
hatch
whole
or a
episode about
sedan.
this.
RS4
An A4
is a wagon, but A4 doesn't have to be.
But A4 can be a wagon too, can't it?
I think RS4 is only wagon.
But then
though.
S4 is like a different driveline with all drive in an A4 body that's not as good as an RS.
And I think that's a 3 litre, but then the RS4 is 2.9 litre.
Yeah.
And then you can get the S5 is a two-door thing, isn't it?
Which brand has your favourite naming convention? BMW's got one that's interesting, isn't it? 330
Too many numbers.
DI.
It doesn't. No, too many numbers.
But there's usually engine capacity, but not always.
Hey, do you know who, Martin? I'm just going to say Subaru does it well. Subaru Outback. You go to the Outback in it. Subaru
Forester.
WRX,
Drive
Ram
down the
Raider
dirt
bank
road.
in it.
Yeah.
The Subaru Samba.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do. That's a dance, isn't it?
I think, yeah, but it's not spelled
The
like
Subaru Liberty. The Legacy. It had a legacy
that.
on
Freedom
your
and
heart,
legacy
didn't it?
and stuff. Yeah, I guess so.
Like, because their names tell you what you can do with it.
Yeah. I mean, and what's a Camry? And it's all like Camry Solara, isn't that all like to do with
what?
suns and stars and majestas? Like, you know
Is
what I
it?
mean? Yeah, I think it is.
I didn't know that.
There's a bit of a theme going on here. I told you it would be a long one and strap yourself in. So just be ready. This is what we do.
It's going to be the best.
This is the internet wasting of all time. But you're here. And we are very glad that you're here. Unicorn Circuit viewers, when we meet you in person, you are awesome.
Always super polite,
The best, man.
super friendly.
And they always say, I'm one of the 38, don't they?
They do,
And
'cause
they
when
go-
I was over
and
in
then they'll,
Japan-
like, full Superman it and show you a Unicorn Circuit shirt.
That's not what they showed me, and they Supermaned their pants. When I was over in Japan, they were like, I'm one of the 38.
In Japan.
Yep, in Japan, multiple
Wow.
times. And I'm just like, thank you
Yeah.
for allowing me to waste your time with entertainment.
wasting a lot of your life,
Martin,
mate.
let's get into the news
Okay,
today
news,
because
let's do
we're
it.
talking about GTRs,
Yes.
we're talking about Porsches, we're
Yes.
talking about caravans, we're
Yes.
talking about four-wheel driving.
Are we kicking
We're
off
ta-
with some Mighty Car Mods news? From our other
yeah,
channel?
we're talking Nissan Cubes, we're talking Amaroks, we're talking California. We've got some cool
Likes to
rules there.
party.
Is there some Tesla talk, Martin?
No, not today.
And we're also going to be talking
MX-5s?
what is the most embarrassing car that you can turn up to at a car meet.
Oh, yes.
We
This is a
have
big
the
one.
answers for you. Everybody, let's dive right into the news. Grab yourself a hat. If you want just a hat, that's cool. If you want just the shirt, grab yourself a shirt, that's cool. If you get both, we're going to send 100 of these out. No cost. It'll be with your order.
Which assumes more than 38 people will watch. So maybe you watch it twice. Or
you
three
buy 'em
times.
twice.
Or you
All
buy
right.
one for your mate.
Let's go. The news. Kicking off the news over on the main channel of Mighty Car Mods, we are in the process of making the world's best four-wheel drive, which is a Volkswagen Amarok. It's a proper four-wheel drive. It doesn't have low range, but you don't need that anyway. Anyone that spends a lot of time off-road knows that you don't need that. It is an excellent car that does a lot of things
Excellent
very,
car.
very well.
That it is. It's an
on the
excellent
road,
car
but
that
it
does
also
everything very well on the road.
does excellent things off-road as well. And the thing about
arguable.
that is that a lot of people are like, it can't do this, it can't do that. They've never driven one, they don't actually know. It sounds like I'm trying to defend it. I'm not.
Does a lot.
But speaking of defenders, Martin has owned multiple Land Rovers,
Yeah.
and even
Cheap
he
ones.
agrees that the Amarok does most things better.
Than a Land Rover?
Yes.
No, you're tripping balls. Anything it does better than a Land Rover is be a ute. Because it is a ute. Why is it a ute? Why does everyone drive utes? Why
Oh,
are they
no,
all four-wheel
please don't
drive?
start on that again,
I
Martin.
could start on that big rant about the old mate tax breaks that you're all getting with your tradie jet skis and your 1 ton in the back. But let's not go there because that's not what this show's about. Let's
Yeah.
talk about other news.
Martin, and
I've got other Mighty Car Mods
and the
news.
thing is as well, we were thinking that maybe because we are the world's best four-wheel driving channel, we wanted to share the love.
Yep.
We reached out to a couple of other channels and we're like, let's do something, and we couldn't get through your gatekeepers, unfortunately. We reached out to a few and said, hey, let's do something, and they were like, no.
Which,
So
I mean,
we'll keep all our knowledges to ourselves.
I guess I kind of understand.
What have you
Look
got on
at
the
that.
news there, Martin?
Oh, other news is work has been continuing. I did put a photo up the other day of the RX-7 getting some mods. That's right, the RX-7 that we drove around
Looking
Japan
good.
has been getting some mods. Really excited about that one. Huge learning curve for me, trying to work out how to do it all. Rotary, it's just different. You think about it differently. None of the mods you'd normally think about the way it all goes together is the same, but there's some similarities. It reached out to some really cool people who know a lot about them, who make some awesome parts, and they've been helping me while I've been toiling away in there trying to get the thing running again, which is imminent. Progress has also continued on the Gemini. That has been on the dyno. Very, very exciting. There'll be an episode about that out maybe before this, after, very soon, working on it literally today. So that's also very exciting. And a couple of other projects and stuff that we broke and have yet to fix are also going to be coming back over the coming month or two. So this year, I was just saying today, like this year, the epic stuff and cars and quality stuff coming out is excellent.
It's bellissimo. There
some of
is
the
a
best
lot of
cars.
builds happening at the same
Concurrently,
time, and we're kind of talking about this, that, you know, while Gemini was getting done, Amarok was getting done in the same space. I was just in Japan last week. I think Martin's heading over imminently as well.
For another project.
So there's been lots going on, but it hasn't just been, here's one car for 3 months, here's another car. There's lots of things. So over on the main channel, you will see that there'll be a bit of four-wheel driving, then there'll be a bit of
rotary
JDM
action.
stuff, then there'll be some rotaries, then there'll be some high-power stuff, then there'll be some classics. So pretty excited about that. Moving on to other news, because this is a bit of a sad one. You may have seen in the news that a Nissan R32 GTR was stolen from Nissan's headquarters in Melbourne. It's like part of their special historic collection.
It wasn't us.
No, it wasn't us. Number plate is GTR 091. Obviously, the police are investigating.
The number plate used to be that. The number plate's since been taken off. It's been stuck in a shipping container and it's somewhere else in the world.
Yeah,
maybe. That's the
Saudi
Royal
Arabia
Street
or something
of
like
what
that.
happens. Or just some random country, who knows where it just kind of blends in and becomes gets a different VIN or something, which is really, really, it's a bummer because they kept that one.
And stealing someone's car, and particularly a car that maybe a lot of people could get enjoyment from, I just reckon it's a scummy act. Prices of them have gone down a bit. I know kind of COVID, like they were peaking up near 100 now. It's maybe 60 to 80. That's still a lot of money for an old Datsun, really.
Yes.
They're
not fast either, by the way, stock.
No, they're not. And we did a test, I believe, a few years ago. They're a stock Focus RS, I believe, was much faster than an R32 GTR in its kind of stock form.
25-year newer technology, I suppose. But.
So that one there, also on the news, on this channel as well, you may have realised that the other channel is the world's best four-wheel driving channel. This is the world's best camping channel. We just released a video on this channel. It's the one before this, which is a very common question that we get. It's like, do you tent? Do you swag? Do you rooftop? Do you caravan? Do you pop top? Do you stay in a hotel? Or do you just stay at home?
Can we just briefly cover something for everyone who's watched that? And if you haven't, you can check it out. Why is there so much hate towards rooftop tents?
Yes.
Why? Do you know?
I've never been game enough to try and use one, mostly because I'm scared of the reaction that it would get. I think... You know, I used one of them, the Porsche one on Top Gear.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that people don't like them is I think to be a real four-wheel driving man, you have to sleep in the dirt.
But in a caravan, you're not sleeping in the dirt.
Yeah, but I think then that's a different category of accommodation.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because
I don't really.
No, because it's like, if you're going to drink a whole lot of beers...
Yes.
If that's your thing, I know it's not our thing, but if that is your thing, then you lie on the ground, you deserve to be in the dirt. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's uncomfortable, it's not good. The moment you crawl up onto a rooftop tent, you're crawling away from who you should be. And so philosophically, you have caused a rift between the sense of who you're meant to be and who you feel you are.
Asked and answered. Because, I mean, to me, that seems to make a lot of sense, that you just go, get on the roof and sleep and then fold up and keep going.
Yeah.
Maybe not. What do I know?
No, it does,
anyway,
because I remember... on that, Martin, I remember this funny thing happened. I don't know if I spoke to you about this, but you and I were going swagging a little while ago. And I said to you... hey, we should go down to Super Cheap because we thought the weather was going to be pretty bad, or maybe it was BCF. And I'm like, we should get these things that pop out like that and you put your swag on them so that you're out of the mud.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm going to go down tomorrow morning. Do you want to come down as well? And you go, yeah, no worries. And I said, cool, I'm going to get there at 9:30. Anyway, I got to the shop at 9:30. Do you remember this?
I just remember what happened.
So I got to the shop at 9:30. I go, oh, thanks for coming down. I'm going to get one of these swag things to get me off the mud. And you go, oh, awesome, yeah, I already got one. And I go, great. And I go over, and there's just an empty hole on the shelf. And I'm like, oh, and you go, yeah, I got the last one. I was like, I invited you down here.
You told me to get
because I told you that I'm going to be getting a thing for my swag. And then you got there first and took the last one. And I thought, surely you're going to be shitting me. And then the next day when we went camping, you set it up and you used it. And I lay in the mud.
That was when that guy tried to kill us.
Oh, man, that was scary.
That was a wacky trip, man.
Bare feet, golf club and a dog. Yeah. Remember?
And, that very odd smell.
Anyway, sorry, that was a long-winded way of saying, I reckon a platform for your swag is just a rooftop tent without the car.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
And I don't have a problem with that.
No?
I think you're allowed to get your swag off the ground. I think if you're on a car, people don't like it.
Okay.
I know travellers and backpackers and stuff like it because it makes sense.
To a car.
But your real four-wheel driving people seem to have a problem with it. I'm a real four-wheel driving people. I just don't understand why.
Me too. I just don't know about that. Can someone tell us? I really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, what's the problem with rooftop tents?
I kind of think like
philosophically, what's the problem?
Isn't the ultimate vehicle an MX-5 with a rooftop tent on it? Because you have convertible and you have somewhere to sleep and accommodation, but also like a fast, cool,
convertible
best
with a
ultimate
rooftop
car.
tent.
Dude, convertibles are the ultimate.
No, but it's not convertible if there's a rooftop tent above you.
No, you just like put the tent. Anyway, don't worry. Someone tell us what the deal is with that. Do you have some news?
If you've got a car and you peel its roof off and then you put a tent on top of it, it's not a convertible anymore.
No, but maybe it sits just behind. I don't know. I just
sits
feel like
behind.
it's the ultimate.
The MX-5 boot's only big enough for a briefcase. What are you talking about?
Put in the briefcase that counts, not the size of the briefcase.
Also, what else? Technical talk. And for all the people out there that are smarter than us, I would say 37 of the 38 of you. News this week, Porsche has come out, I mean, it's been out for a little while, but a 6-stroke engine.
Yes.
So intake, compression, combustion, compression, combustion, exhaust.
Oh, right.
So does that mean, though, that on the second
I thought it meant
stage,
something totally different, and then when you started talking, I'm like, does that mean if you own a Porsche, you invite 5 mates around and you all stare at the car? Is that what that is?
What, the intake?
No, the 6-stroke, like the 6 of you.
Come on, man.
Oh, look at the Porsche. Oh, the engine's in the back.
Is the second
That's
stage
the most cleverest thing ever. I bet the weight distribution's excellent. I bet it's really fast. I bet it's pure.
Here's my question for you. The second stage of combustion must be combusting a mixture that also has exhaust gas in it.
Guess so.
Because suck in, compression, bang,
Combustion.
boom.
Compress it again.
So, but now there's exhaust in the cylinder.
Yep.
And you're compressing the exhaust again, except there's no intake.
If there's no intake stroke, yeah, correct. You're just compressing the same thing.
So how you explode, how do you only explode half of it without taking more in?
Well, I guess when you've got your air-fuel ratio right, so say you're on a dyno and you're revving it out and your air-fuel ratio is 10 to 1, that's what's coming out of the exhaust pipe. So wouldn't that tell you that there's 10 units of air and still 1 unit of fuel? And there is such thing as really lean burn engines. So I wonder if it's like burns rich, then obviously you're using some of that, but there's still exhaust gas and there's still molecules of fuel and air in there, and then you can ignite it again. I have no idea. That's my guess.
Hey, Martin.
I don't know. Can you ignite it again? Is that how it works?
Is it possible, though, that the ratio of the second combustion stage is different to the first?
Yeah, it could be less, yeah.
Because instead of 10 to 1, then you would be 50 to 1?
I don't know. Maybe you just get another go at it, or less. Maybe it's like 5 to 1. I don't know. There'd be a lot of people out there that
Does the numbers go the other way? Can someone explain it to us? I'd really like to know, just without Googling it.
Bigger first number means higher compression. So like a 14 or 13 to 1 engine is like a lot more compression than an 8 to 1. Interesting, the Gemini's 8 to 1.
Is it?
Yeah. And we just dynoed it, like I said, and it drives amazing.
Martin, when's the dyno video's out? Well, we've got another 4-wheel drive video coming out, and then I think the dyno's coming out soon after that. Then another classic car that you've been asking for ages.
Frothing for that.
All right, Martin, is there anything else that you've got?
There's one other thing we're going to talk about. We did warn you it'd be a long episode. If you need to take a breather, now is the time to take a little pee break. You can either press pause or not. It's up to you. Depends whether you like to hear us talking while you're doing a
Just use your land bag.
You can take your headphones with you. We can still be in your ears. You're not going to miss anything visually on this one. But I do want to talk about something that has been coming up a lot, and that's Chinese car production. And this will lead me later to a conspiracy theory that we're going to touch on. But right now I want to just get some facts out there. A lot of Chinese cars coming into Australia. A lot of Chinese cars coming into different countries depending on the government. They either limit it or they don't. They either put tariffs on them or they don't. If they don't put tariffs and they're cheap, they start to displace other brands.
Waxy Dolphin has just made a ute, by the way.
They have. Called a Shark?
Yes.
Yes, a Shark. Looks good, I guess. Does ute things. Probably does like what an Amarok can do. Anyway, it's worth mentioning that Chinese car production, according to some stats that I found here, have actually been the biggest in the world since 2008.
Whoa.
So you can think America or Japan or, French car manufacturing is big. Actually, China's been the biggest since then. And what's changing now is a lot of brands like, for example, a Korean brand like Kia or Hyundai are actually building cars in China and then selling them back in Korea, even though they are a Korean car manufacturing company that do very well as it is. Quite a few brands are doing that. A lot of it is electric and, which is even more strange, Japan is doing the same thing. Honda and Nissan building cars in Japan and then selling them back into a Japanese market. That
Sorry,
doesn't-
building them in China, you mean?
Sorry, into China and selling them back into Japan, which would not normally fly as well because they very much like Australia were with Ford and Holden, was like, it's made here and it should be made here.
Quick adjunct on that because it's exactly the same.
Yep.
Right now, you've probably seen there is a proliferation of people using point-and-shoot cameras.
Oh, this
it's
thing.
really, really popular
Yeah.
again. Why it's interesting is that Fujifilm make a range of cameras, X100V, X100-6, whatever, X100F, which is the one that I've been using for a while. Anyway, they now, Japanese company, but as of the newest version, which is $3,000 for a point-and-shoot,
wow.
made in China,
Oh, I see.
Japanese brand,
Right.
Japanese camera, but made in China.
So people are speculating that they're going to go up in value, or they just want the Japanese-made one?
Well, the previous versions are now, the Japanese versions cost more now by 30% than they cost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But the point is that the new stuff, someone's done the maths, and it's interesting because we think of the cars as an industry. The cars are not in isolation. You know, you've got cameras, you've got technology, you've got computers, you've got fashion. A lot of these people will always follow the money. You know, that's the thing that journalists say, you know, follow the money. The point is, whether it's a car or whether it's a camera, someone has worked out that by designing it in Japan, Korea, wherever, sending it to China, get them to make it, then bring it back to Japan and then sell it from there seems to be the way that they can make the most money.
And that brings me exactly to my next point, which is like, why are these manufacturers doing it? The answer is record margins. A lot of these little companies that have only been around since like 2000 and 2002, which sounds like a long time ago, but in car history, that's not very long compared to the Hondas and Fords and Nissans of the world. And so a lot of those little companies that are little are actually being listed on stock exchanges with valuations of billions and billions and billions of dollars, and people are buying shares in them, and they are going up. So they're wavering around depending on how it's going, but they are generally going up. And you do need to think through that lens of like, okay, record profits, but then you also see in the news that like, you know, China's leadership and France's leadership, they have a meeting about cars, and France is like, oh yeah, you can have your Chinese brands here, but you got to build them here, which has been a thing for a long time as well. Think about Nissan Micros, all made in the UK. Why? How does that make any sense? Couldn't they just make them in Japan where they make all the rest of the Micros? No. It's like an agreement to say, we'll unlock this market if you employ our people to make your cars. And it's no different, but it's just not working so well with China. But the thing I'll come back to as well, like think about Holden and Ford, and Bathurst was just on recently, the big race at Bathurst. It's a big deal. And you know, for a long time it was Ford versus Holden. There were some other brands in there, but Ford versus Holden for a long time, and people were cheering, going Ford versus Holden. That's kind of gone now. Everyone's watching Camaros and other stuff drive around the mountain. But my question is, in many years' time, will people watch Geelys and Sakes and Cherries and BYDs and go around Bathurst and go, yeah, and get really involved in the brand? But at the same time, we will get excited about a drift meet full of Sylvias and go, oh, Sylvias are cool. But, you know, the kids who are kids now in 20 years go, oh, man, I love BAD. And I love Cherry. And I want to watch Bathurst because it's BYD versus Cherry this week.
Yeah,
I don't know the answer. I'd be really interested to see when I'm a proper old dude if that happens or what happens in this brand loyalty, because we all feel it, like, but it's to do with your experiences. I like Subarus because I had a really good experience working on them, driving them, you know, just living with those kind of cars for a long time, and a selection of others. So I feel a lot of like loyalty to that. But is someone going to go, Geely, man? It's all about the Geely. Geely's the best. And they're going to have a Geely from when they're 16 and all the way to their 40s and 50s. Man, Geely's my car. I just love Geelys.
I reckon it'll come down to, regardless of what things cost, people want value. And this is what we saw in the mid-70s when Japan came out with the 240Z. It was faster and cheaper than the equivalent Porsche 911 at the time. And people just went, I can't actually argue with that. And it's what we're seeing with Tesla Model 3 performance. People are, oh, it's a microwave, not a barbecue, all that stuff.
And to boil that down for the average person who's on an hourly wage, that means you get to spend 4 months of your life, less of your life working for the car that will give you the similar or better experience, right? Like that's kind of how you build it.
And that is a good point, you know, because a lot of people, like what they don't quite understand, and certainly I didn't understand for a long time, is your work is you're not actually getting paid in money for what you do. You're trading your time for things. Yes. So if you go, hey, I earn $100 in a day, and then with that $100, I can buy a book on how to play guitar that I really wanted, then actually what you're doing is you're swapping 1 hour of your time for a book, or you're swapping 2 days of your time for this much food that you need to feed your family or whatever. And when you start thinking of it as a trade of a time for goods, then this whole idea of afterpay and borrowing lots of money to buy stuff that potentially you can't afford it kind of takes the veil off it a bit, and you see it for what it really is, which is a lot of companies want you in debt. A lot of companies want you buying expensive stuff. They want you feeling like you're not good enough with what you have, because then you'll get in debt to them and then have to be paying them off for years and years and years. Whereas if you actually say, if to buy a car these days, and what is a normal car for an enthusiast now? An 86, a Golf GTI or something?
Yeah, something like that.
$50,000.
They're all between like high 30s and low 50s at least.
Yep. So let's call it $50,000.
Yeah.
Let's pretend the average wage is $50,000 just to make the maths work. You have to work, assuming that you're not eating, not paying board, not paying bills, nothing else, not going out with your friends, and not paying tax, which you would have to do. Or let's include tax in it. You would have to earn $80,000 a year to have $50,000 less to sit in your job for 10 hours a day, for 5 days a week, whatever you need to do. And at the end of the year, you go, cool, I've now swapped that for this car. Except you haven't just swapped it for that car, because by the time you then want to sell that, a year later, it's worth $35,000. So the money is going out the door. So you're losing 30%, which means it's like the equivalent of working 30% more hours. Instead of working 10 hours a day, you've got to work 13 hours a day just to pay for the deficit you're about to cop by selling the car that's depreciated.
Wow, well said. Yeah, and so this brings me back to why it's important that if there's a particular kind of car or project or thing that you really love, that you really just think about all the time, love it, can't wait to drive it, have great experiences, opens up the worlds of doing stuff, you hang out with mates, you go to meets, you do whatever it is, then that value starts to increase. If it's just like, I just have it because I guess other people will think I'm cooler, it's like, I'm not as into that.
Yes.
About, just I buy the thing and now this is my image. I'm not as...
And the important thing to remember on that as well, which I think is a really good point, is that when people are so image focused, they're looking at supercars, Ferraris, RS6s. It's the reason that those kinds of videos are so popular on YouTube, because people people that are really into cars and can afford those cars often don't want them. It's like the meme of someone who thinks, what does it mean to be a car guy? It means to own a Lambo and a Ferrari and something else. Except most of the people we know that race cars and track them, they end up in Lotuses, or they're in like Porsche Caymans and stuff like that. It's a version of what you think you're meant to be as a car person, but actually people that are car people don't really like that stuff that much, which is true, believe it or not. The other thing is, when you see someone who's driving around a $500,000 car, that is probably not representative of their entire life savings. If someone has a $500,000 car, they probably have $5 million in the bank. And so the reason that that's important is that proportional to their wage, that car is less. You have a lot of people that are earning $20,000, $30,000 a year, and they're like, one day I'm going to get a Porsche. In Australia, we pay double what you pay in the States for a Porsche 911. It's $400,000. You could spend your whole life towards it and eventually go, cool, I spent 20 years, saved it, cool, I've got my car. You might love it and it might be fantastic, but the other dude or woman that bought one of those is also then going on holidays, they're on their boat, maybe they're retired, they're doing a bunch of other stuff. They're certainly not pouring 100% of their energy into that one thing. It's different when you're young and you're learning, working on cars, you've got a Corolla, you can put 100% of your energy into it, but it's not when it's a $500,000 car. I'm saying that because I don't want you to think that the pinnacle of carring is owning a $500,000 car, because you're going to spend your whole life getting to a point and potentially just go, is this it?
And as we discussed earlier, the pinnacle is really just an up with an exclamation mark.
That's true.
I have one more bit of news. It's to do with a new Mazda MX-5 GTRS. That sounds good, doesn't it? Speaking of car names.
It sounds all-wheel drivey, Martin, doesn't it?
I'm like, sign me up. Like,
is it all-wheel drive?
No. It's an MX-5. Fair enough, it's going to be rear-wheel drive, but I'm like, man, that's going to have a
RS
turbo.
mean?
That's going to have big wheels.
Is it turbo?
No.
It's not turbo?
Same 2-litre.
Not all-wheel drive?
Same 2-litre, not all-wheel drive.
What did they do then?
They put Brembos and some bigger wheels on it.
Is this the one we saw in Japan? Is this the Roadster?
It's
got like the special seats and the Brembos and the special wheels?
It's got basically LSD, different throttle calibration, e-throttle, beep, beep, press some buttons, Brembos, BBS alloys and some Bilsteins. It's like the Japan...
Dude, it is the one that we saw in Japan
It's
at
like
the factory.
the Japan bolt-on thing that they've been doing for 30 years. You could buy a Bilstein edition Subaru Liberty in 1995.
Can you get it here?
$52,000 Aussie, I think, not including on-roads. 135 kilowatts in the engine, 205 newton meters. 135 kilowatts from a 2 litres, good, I guess. It's if it's 90.
You're a big fan of MX-5s, aren't you?
I don't fit in all of them, but I do like them as cars. They're definitely in my top 10 from the driving experience, the convertibleness, they're a good thing. They're so popular. You can't really argue with that. You know what I mean? Good
All
thing.
right.
Anyway, that was my last bit of news.
Thank you, Martin. Martin, let's just jump straight into, is that even legal? Every week on the show, we like to explore different rules and regulations from around the world, mainly to highlight that the world is a place full of different rules and regulations. This week, Martin, we're looking at California. Martin, actually, can you explain this to me for a second?
Absolutely, I can.
I don't want to even talk about this. I don't even want to go there, but
that's right.
There's so much in the news.
Land Rovers?
No.
Oh.
In America, if more people vote for one particular president,
Yeah.
the majority of people who vote, that person doesn't actually become the president.
Not
Is that
necessarily
correct? That's all I need to know.
because of the electoral college. That's right. And the way it's divided up.
Because different
here.
electoral colleges then attribute a different weight of value.
It's basically so that a whole city of people and a giant number of people out in rural areas still have a similar amount of power balance, so the whole country is not run by cities and the whole country is not run by rural. It's trying to balance that out. I don't know how effective it is, but that's kind of the idea.
Does that work?
I don't know. I mean, in Australia and the UK, our electoral system's a bit different to the US, but I think ours, we don't have that college system, but we still have electorates where they are trying to divide up the number of people. So representative of one area represents 10,000 people, and so does the next person. So it's not I only represent one person's interest and I represent 20,000 persons' interest. It's trying to balance it. I don't know. I don't know enough about American politics to know for sure, but I know that it's definitely different there. Which is why you can lose the popular vote but still win.
Yes. And that's why I apologise for even talking about politics at all, because I'm sure you're sick of it. But because this is the Is That Even Legal section, I think it makes an interesting conversation that you can sit in a room with 10 people and go, what do you want for dinner tonight? And 7 of them go, we're having Thai. And the other 3 say, no, we're having Mexican. And then go, oh, because that guy weighs more than you, we're having Mexican.
Oh, right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
So anyway, Martin, let's go to California.
Okay.
Hunting is not really a thing in Australia, but when people do hunt, they're normally hunting a pig, aren't they?
Yeah, pig hunting's a thing here. We also have culls where if there's like infestations of certain
Heaps
animals.
of horses or rabbits?
Wild horses, sometimes kangaroos, rabbits, stuff that destroys farmland.
Anyway, Martin, do you have a hunting licence?
No.
No. Martin, do you like California?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yep, I also do.
Yeah.
Martin, have you ever in your life set a mouse trap?
Yes.
That is straight up
Illegal.
illegal in California.
Mouse traps are illegal.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because trapping a mouse is
Trapping. Hunting.
hunting.
Hey.
And you cannot hunt a mouse without a hunting licence.
I only set a mouse trap so I could put a string to an axle to make a car go. It wasn't to actually catch a mouse. Does it count?
Yeah.
You can buy mouse traps in California?
Dude, this is not
Wait, you
about...
can still buy guns.
This is not about you killing a mouse.
Okay.
You can't set the mousetrap.
Oh, whoa.
But you set the mousetrap, right?
Yeah.
And so if you were in California, that would be illegal.
Yeah, right.
We also, Martin and I, recently broke about 10 laws in Paris.
We did. On scooters.
No, we broke no laws in Paris.
Yes.
But we broke 10 laws that would be laws in Australia by basically going, what are some scooter laws in Australia and can we apply them to Paris? And so we went there and I think we broke 10 laws in 10 minutes.
And kind of an idea of how dangerous they actually were.
And how much fines you would have to pay. That is on this channel. We're going to link it up on the thing.
Check it out.
Anyway, Martin, what's next, mate?
Next up is Conspiracy Hat Cat. This week on Conspiracy Hat Cat, it does come back to what I was speaking about earlier, if you were around for that part, about Chinese cars. And Chinese cars and cars from other countries are flooding the market. Why? To extinguish the automotive aftermarket. The automotive aftermarket is attempting to be stamped out by the flood of new, exceptionally boring, cheap cars from all over the world that are coming onto the shores of Australia, and that is what is basically going to extinguish it. What they're basically trying to do is anything that involves you having the free will over performance, so that could be braking, could be power adding, could be handling, anything in that manual driving experience, they just know that they can't stamp that industry out through regulation, because the industry will be decimated, and the people who rely on that for a living, so the workshops and the parts manufacturers and all the supporting industries, would be decimated. And guess what? They vote. So you can't just go, oh no, we're turning off the aftermarket industry, we don't really like it, and so it's going to go, because all those people just vote whoever tries to make that decision out. But what they can do is make the cars so cheap through lack of tariffs and lack of other things that pretty much it just extinguishes it. You've all seen it, because anyone in Australia who's been looking at used car prices and stuff like that.
This is the same as what I was talking about before with food and with clothes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
There was a period of time everyone had to make their own clothes, spin their own cotton, wool their own sheep, right? You make your own thing. Then eventually clothes coming from Pakistan, India, China, they became so cheap.
Yes.
That you could probably now go to Kmart or Big W. You can probably buy a
$3.
shirt for...
I saw a shirt in Kmart the other day, which we have Kmart in Australia, $3.
Yeah.
How?
Can you go and pluck your sheep, spin the thing, make the wool, knit the thing for $3? You can't do it.
No.
Therefore, that industry of clothing is over. Same thing with food. Some people, for fun, they have their own honey, they grow their own veggies. Some people have to do it depending on where they live, you know, rural areas and stuff like that. But most people are going to go down and buy an apple you can buy 6 apples for $3.
Yeah.
It costs you more than that to try and grow your own. So I think what you're saying this time, because a lot of the time you're full of shit, this time I think is actually correct.
Yeah. Well, it's more a thought experiment than an actual conspiracy, because I made this up completely, but like I normally do. But what I'm more getting at here as well is that if you flood it with so much stuff that you end up shutting it down, the exception to this, and what I was going to get to next, which brings me back to your point, is what survives this is backyard manufacturing. And I think it's really interesting that things like 3D printing, CNCs and stuff becoming so inexpensive that people have them in their garages. You know, when they used to cost $500,000, now you can get one for 40 grand, like a proper 4-axis thing. Small volume, don't necessarily have targets on their back, because that is much harder to stamp out. Now, people have tried it with the right to repair stuff by saying, you know, what right to repair is less about right to repair your stuff and more about we're going to make sure you don't have the skills to do it. Because if we make it illegal, guess what? People aren't going to start to repair their phones because they're worried about their door getting busted in when someone comes to arrest them for trying to repair their iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, but this, I like that there's still, that what I'm noticing more in the aftermarket as well is maybe somewhat, there's still some real big players that make heaps of stuff, but you're seeing a lot of little brands that are popping up, and I guess thanks to the internet and social media, you find them more, who just make a few small things for a particular kind of car. And this can be some really clever parts where you're like, this is genius. And yeah, I just make 10 of them a week in my garage for fun. And then it's like a cottage industry, I guess, which is surviving this. But all the stuff coming in and just flooding the market essentially is attempting to squash out basically everything that's left, so that there's no point buying any car that you could modify, because why would you? Because for a third the price you can get something that you can't. Oh well, I guess I'll just buy that and drive it.
I would add to that conspiracy that people that are adding 10 years worth of warranty on their cars and stuff, I think they're trying to count on going, you know what, you're not going to buy anything for 10 years, and in 10 years the industry is going to be very different. We've been doing Mighty Car Mods for 18 years already. In 20 years' time, are there still going to be as many performance and aftermarket workshops? No. I reckon there'll be half.
Yeah, right.
Enthusiasts, I reckon, are still going to be into it. In 50 years, how many places are there still going to be that you take down your car that's been made in the last 20 years and they modify it?
Well, you absolutely don't do that with a Tesla
exist.
unless you're going to lower it or wrap it. Let's be real. Like, that's not happening, is it?
Yeah.
And there's some workshops who are starting up because of the warranty period's expired. But again, if the cars are so cheap to buy, you wouldn't bother. You just get another one. Yes. Which is the throwaway society that, you know, a lot of it is heading towards. Anyway, there's a conspiracy thought experiment for you to think about as you 3D print your own stuff.
Luckily, what we still have is a number of people still thinking for themselves, still thinking about what is it important to me, what do I value, what do I care about in cars, how can I keep the community thriving, and I know at least 38 of them.
And they probably all are into fanking, which is what's up next.
Fanking is the delightful art of recontextualising a product's name by taking a photo of it down near your crotch. It's going to be a huge one.
It is a big one.
This episode. And I've got to say, the Fanks are they're on point this week. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to move through them fairly quickly because there are just so many to get through. But let's just kick it off with the happy ending cannon.
Nice.
Well done.
Yep.
Good job. Says what it is. By the way, controversially, 3 Fanks of the week this week.
No way. That's a lot of drum rolls.
And what I think we're going to have to do is I'll show all 3 and then we'll take a vote to see which one actually gets Fank of the Week, because I didn't know how seriously people took it until I met somebody overseas who told me that they'd received Fank of the Week a couple of years ago and they were still talking about
thinking about it. Good on
So
you.
good on you.
Congratulations.
Next up, we got the cock starter kit.
Nice.
Straight up. Get on it. Thank you very much.
Very good. Got to start somewhere.
Dicks down under.
Very good. It's like a romance novel.
That's great, isn't it?
That's probably what's going to happen.
That's really good.
In the novel. It says a 3-in-1 as well. Jeebus, that's going to be... That's how many... There's going to be 3 dicks down under? It says 3-in-1.
I don't know what that means, Martin. All right, over here. Well done. Good job. Next up, we got the big boy body filler.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, nice.
Well done. Next up, milk it.
Oh, look at the shirt.
Yep, you get a notable mention for your Engine Heart
Bonus
Mighty
points.
Camo t-shirt. Well done. Next up, Martin, we've got the squirt cream.
Oh, very good.
Dairy Maker squirt cream.
Okay.
Good job.
Nice.
Over here, we've got the Bun Buster. It's Frank's. It's Frank's Bun Buster.
Oh, God, man. This is
We're not
some
even-
of this should be Fank of the Week as it is.
We're not even a third of the way through.
Really?
All right, next up, we've got the sweet meat squash. Look at that.
49
I think
cents a
that's the
pound.
first. Some people have taken Fanks with vegetables, which is
Yeah.
kind of borderline Fank because it actually just looks phallic.
Well, that looks phallic.
But that's just using the name.
But also it's-
Fanking is not just holding a carrot near your crotch. That's just you being a sicko. You know what I mean? And
I like that it's 49 cents for a pound as well.
well done. Well done, Martin. I didn't notice that. Deliver all goods in rear.
Oh, wow. Work boots.
all right.
Something getting done there.
Protein flap. That's a good one, isn't it? That's really good. What's a protein flap, do you reckon? All right. Next up, we'll move it on. Tool lube. Straight up is what it is. Martin, this is
double.
tequila and cock. 2 chicks. It's great. I mean, are you not entertained by the fact that this exists?
It's very immature and silly. I mean, really, we should just have a serious talk about finance or banking or
The
taxation
college
or
system.
something. Like,
But
seriously.
every time you go out to the shops, you get dragged along somewhere
so
boring.
much fun.
Deep down in your brain, your amygdala, your lizard brain is Fank. You know that you'll find entertainment there.
You will.
Like
That's
this
the
one,
improved
the English
shopping.
cock. There it is. Next up, we've got our cock lovers jigsaw
The
puzzle.
variety as well. Like, there's so much. There's endless, dude. I
It's-
know occasionally we get a double up and we forget about it because there's been like 150 episodes of this thing.
Has it?
Yeah, nearly. We must be getting up there. 130 something.
Is it? Martin, remember what I said though? Episode 150 is going to be a special one.
Yeah.
Really big.
Yep.
Anyway, cock lovers jigsaw puzzle. And sometimes it feels like that, doesn't it?
Life.
Next up, Nana. Okay. Next. That's rude. Next up, the cheesemaker's pickle.
That's sometimes I like when the Fank doesn't involve the thumbing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, when it just is straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost like Fat Boys. That's pretty good, isn't it?
I haven't seen a TV show. Is that your hand?
What do you mean?
Is that you?
Does that look like me?
A little bit.
Oh, does it? Next up, Martin,
That
we've
was
got
you.
the blendy stick.
That's you too.
What do you mean?
That's you as well.
How do you know?
I can tell.
What do you mean?
Because you're
doesn't
wearing
look-
grey and it's your hand.
I'm wearing the same
Dude, that's
t-shirt,
pretty impressive.
aren't
I could identify you by your thumb.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question is,
Oh,
could
the
I
look of it.
Yeah, well, that's it. Could I identify without seeing it? That's the question.
Okay. Martin, next up we've got the Mammoth Wood. Oh, first Fank of the week, sorry. That's it. Mammoth Wood, you tell us. Or, second Fank of the week, Pump for Joy. Or,
It's car key. Yeah.
third Fank of the week,
Yeah.
Size when fully extended.
I think I know
And
who's
he
gonna
actually
win that.
posted that up and
I
he's
think-
just like, hey, this is...
I think I know who's going to win that.
So, in the comments, let us know. Mammoth Wood,
Very good.
Pump for Joy, or Size when fully extended.
Very good.
Let us know.
If you want to send your Fanks, get on the Fanking group. It's flashing below. Facebook, Fanking, whatever it is. Post up your things on there, and we'll love to chuck them into our Fanking bucket. Is that what it is?
A Fanking bucket.
Fanking bucket? No, it sounds a bit too
A
real. doesn't it?
spittoon.
Oh, it's a spittoon of Fanks. Next up, we are going to do mail bag.
As we do mailbag, though, we're going to cover 2 important things. The first of which, a conversation popped up last week, which was if you're heading to a... Actually, run the graphics. if you would like to send us in something to the Unicorn Circuit, you can send it to the Unicorn Circuit, PO Box 475, Sydney Markets, New South Wales 2129. Now, Marty and I got talking earlier in the week, and we started thinking, what is the most embarrassing car to turn up to at a Cars and Coffee? Now, you can't go, oh, it's a Camry. I mean a car that is maybe suggesting that it's fast and cool, but it's not. And I'm kind of up there with a Tesla Model 3, Martin.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's it. Like, I think it's just an embarrassing car, and I wanted to know your opinion.
Yeah, I want to agree with you, except that the fastest car I've ever driven on the road that scared the absolute Jesus out of me was the top of the top Model 3 performance thing whenever it came out, I don't know, a while back. And I drove it around the block, and the dude's like, I'll give it a hit. And I was like, this is off its head. The problem is you can't really tell the difference between the really fast one and the slow one. They're all right. I don't know. What would mine be?
Martin, as you think about it, hello Unicorn Circuit, long-time fans of the show, as well as your other 4x4 channel, which inspired us to participate in the Shitbox Rally dressed as grandpas. This here has come from... Where are your names? Anyway, here's the boys. They've made a mad little nuggety car, which is here. Made it look like a Celica GT4, and they've filmed a series called Two Grandpas, One Shitbox, which sounds kind of grot. There is a picture of the car, and they've included some stickers, which are grandpa spec. Thank you very much, boys.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
This is amazing. Okay, this is from... there's no name. Anyway, to the lads, there's a photo on here of a Nissan March Super Turbo, a black one, which black ones look absolutely epic. It says, thanks for the years of content. I've been with you since the OG Driveway episodes, the Blue Turd, and notably, Marty's first Super Turbo. Much like Marty, I was slinging pizzas, but for a different company in my first car, a little granny spec Micra. I wasn't interested in cars at the time, but finding your channel and Marty's love for his ST, I was sucked in and hooked, even becoming a career mechanic for several years.
That's cool.
It became a life's mission to own an ST for myself. Fast forward a couple of years, I made that dream a reality. Congratulations. It's been a pleasure to own and work on, aside from blowing the turbo. Yep, that's no good either. Anyway, enough wasting paper. Enjoy these... Oh, replica keys. I was wondering what these were.
They're not cat keys, are they?
Yeah, but they're Asaccio. We've spoken before about the March Super Turbo had this
Is that the special cat key?
Special key. So this guy...
Oh my God, that is freaking awesome. Who are you? I remember you lost your cat key and you were Devo for about a year.
Do you know where it was? I found it.
Where was it?
It was in the E30.
Oh, was it?
It was under the seat of the E30.
No wonder we didn't find it.
Oh, I didn't drive it much. It's too scary. Anyway, look at that. Replica keys. Thank you so much. That's great. And these are not available. You can't get them anymore. And these are like custom made.
Is that from this person, Martin?
That's amazing.
Because
there's a bunch of stuff in here as well. Look, we've got milk chocolate tea cakes. We've got tea as a bonus, a calligraphy. Oh, cool.
James Wheeler.
Here you go.
Is that you? From Hampshire, United Kingdom. Thank you very much.
I work in a 3D printing shop, and these have been made on a very expensive something MJF printer. They're a Datsun spec key blanks, ready to be cut, and should even work for Moog's Fair Lady.
Wow.
I'm cutting you a cat key for your Fair Lady.
That's awesome. Thank
as a
you
bonus,
so much. That's awesome.
A calligraphy sign for you guys to do with your wish, made by an incredible missus who's been with me for nearly as long as you guys. Oh, that's nice to hear.
Oh, good
and
on
some
you.
edible British goodies for your mouth.
That's
a
awesome.
March Super Turbo cat key, a photo of a black March Super Turbo next to our custom Super Turbo poster, and Jamie Dodgers.
And his missus has made this 24 Cat Ward 20-something art. So I guess that's her Instagram.
Dude,
thank you
look
very
at
much.
this.
Martin, I'm moving on quickly.
You are my person.
Because
mate.
we've got,
awesome.
there's lots going on over here that I need to get through. This one here is from Dave. It says, hi guys. He's drawn a picture over here, which is excellent. It says, hey guys, it says The Short. I wanted to see what a Lavorg badge would look like backwards, so I bought a JDM one, I think I did anyway, and chopped it up. I think it looks sweet, and Subaru should have gone this way from the factory. I did a chrome delete, coated in plastic dip, and thought it may look good on one of your sheds or just in the bin. The pig on the front's my 6-year-old's interpretation of the Gemini poster, which I recently received. She thought a different angle would be more fun to draw. Thanks for all your entertainment. Dave, a focus driving electrical engineer with 2 kids that love my cargoes. Psh, psh. Thank you so much. And a big shout out. Are you the legend that drew this? Thank you very much. There's a longer message on the back, but I think that one's to be read off screen, so I'll leave that one there. Now, Martin, let's have a look at this Lavorg badge. Now, it's come wrapped in chocolate for protection.
Well done. Oh, my Super Turbo 3D printed as well.
Martin, over here, we have got the badge that he has built. Well, you should open this.
Remember
because
the other day
this is
we
for your
drove the
car.
Super Turbo because it was the only car of mine that worked?
Yes.
Out of everything, there was only one.
Martin,
This is sick.
There it is.
Oh,
He's
awesome.
bought a badge,
Grovel
cut it up
STI.
and black deleted and grovel deleted it.
That's awesome.
So grovel delete. Thank you very much. We'll stick that up in the shed.
This is a bunch of stuff that's been sent by someone from Untamed Four-Wheel Drive. There's a calendar here and party mix and minties. Minties. Do you guys believe in minties? They're pretty divisive. This is a GU Patrol from March 2024. The calendar's only probably good for another month or two, but that doesn't matter because the number plate on that is GU Drippin'. Which
What does that mean?
Pretty cool. I don't know. GU Drippin'?
Oh, because they're always driving through
Zuki trips.
muddy bug holes.
Suzuki's. This is pretty cool. So this is obviously four-wheel driveness. I love it. Love the calendar. Very, very cool. Thank you for sending that and the snacks. They'll be thoroughly enjoyed in four-wheel drives.
Martin, can you take that big one, please?
I'd love to.
I don't know if that's come from this person or it's a different one, but let's have a little look and see. So, Martin, did we get to your answer as what is the most embarrassing car that one could take to a car show?
I've been thinking about it, but I also don't want to upset people that have that particular kind of car because then they're like, oh, but I love that car. So it's kind of, it's a tricky one. I mean, I don't think there's that many people in Teslas showing up to meet, so in that way yours is kind of a safe one. I think for me, it's when you are in like one of the ones that manufacturers badge engineer to make it sound like it's a special edition when it's kind of not. And it's like, you know what I mean?
Martin, I think
Here's
this one here...
Like when dealers add some stripes and a thing and they're like, it's the special pack edition and it's just not. And I'm like, that... I don't know. I just feel like you maybe got a bit ripped off. Samuel
Rudiger, I've got your message. Thank you very much. I'll sort that out for you off screen. Thank you.
This is a very creative way to send us. This is the first time we've been sent an in-person Fank. So someone has bought a Cheryl's box, which you can get on our website, which is a mystery box. It says not Cheryl's box. And then it says, I don't have any social, so here is a Fank. And it's just, it's birthday cake, custard-filled balls.
They've sent us a Fank.
Send us the actual Fank.
I think you should get Fank of the week then.
That's very cool.
That's amazing.
These are also plant-based and gluten-free custard-filled balls, apparently. And what's interesting, look at the logo. It's got like a
very
chop
choppy
fingers-looking thing on it.
Martin, this one here has come from Ash and Shell in Service Paradise in Queensland. What do you reckon we've got here, Martin?
I hope it's something like original.
I think it looks original. I'm going to be careful how I cut it.
Cat cheese.
That's so exciting. I remember how Devo you were when you lost your
Devo,
keys.
man.
It was such a sad time for you, wasn't it?
It was tough. But no,
All right,
no
what's
longer.
going on in here?
I'm going to
We've
get some
got-
spares cut too. Super cool.
This is cool. It's
Oh, that's awesome.
it's an artwork
Made up of
other things, and then you look in here.
You get a magnifying glass?
Oh, dude.
Is that the Gemini?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
but
cool.
this is the Gemini poster image made up of other images, I think, of all of our cars and us.
Cool. That's
Like
pretty
my
cool.
face is made up out of, instead of a nose, look at my nose. See what kind of car it is. Your eyes are better than mine. See what my nose is?
Oh, yeah.
It's a Subaru.
Your nose is a Subaru. And your chin is the Mighty Car Mods book. And the black thing on your T-shirt is a Chop logo. That's very, very cool.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Very
sending that in.
creative.
That's very, very cool. Martin, there's a lot more. Do we just
want to eat these.
go for it?
eat these.
You what? Can we eat one of those in a second? Let's do one more. This is from Tom Kehoe in Southampton, Hampshire.
Strawberry
United
and
Kingdom.
cucumber green tea with aloe vera.
Do you eat that?
I don't know.
Or do you drink it?
Smells weird. English thing. You love tea, don't you?
Martin, there's been quite a few from England.
Yeah, this has been good. It's like a lot of the 38 are from there. I hope there's snacks.
Martin, there's a big box full of stuff.
There is
there's
snacks!
so much stuff in
There's
there.
so much to read as well.
All right, okay. I will just have a look here. I think this... Okay, here we go. Hey guys, as I write this, I'm listening to the interview Moog did about parasocial relationships on ABC. Got to admit, it makes me feel a bit weird as I write to two guys I've never met who I watch on the internet. No, it's the Unicorn Circuit. It's totally
feel
different.
weird. Fine.
Anyway, just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate
It's not,
what
it's not
you've
valuable.
what you've made over the past decade. I've watched MCM for years and your attitude to cars, life, mental or physical well-being. Fixing stuff resonates with me just like it does with over 3 million others. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you, mate. Thank you very much. Too long, didn't read, which I will read all of it. Sincerely, thank you. I've included some pics of my cars and stuff I've made, plus some snacks and small tools. It says longer, more detailed, continued. We really appreciate when you send us these messages, and I won't necessarily read it out on screen because I know that sometimes that's personal stuff. But here we go.
Drill guide,
so
what's that? Oh,
I think that's you. Amazing. The Never-Ending Project. R33. With a Mighty Mods flag up there as well, which is awesome. Thank you. I love this little car.
That's cool.
In the UK, you need insurance tax and a yearly safety check insurance. There's £150. Tax is free. What's not to love? What is that? That's a freaking mad up-looking Skoda thing.
Oh, is that
a City Go or something? Is that what that's
what's
called?
that? What's that?
This
thing?
here, Martin, is a Mercedes wagon.
What
This thing
kind?
is just stupid, but sounds great.
Oh, it doesn't say what it is.
This is a desk I made using a bunch of skills I learned while messing with cars, cutting, welding, making stuff. Took a fair while, but it's proper satisfying. That looks amazing.
Oh, and he sent some tools that he used. There's an example here, a drill guide, which he used when he was making that desk, which is cool.
And the finished product with some MCM posters as
And
a
a
finishing
centre
touch.
finding ruler and a magnet clamp. Thank you very much.
Dude,
Oh,
that's so cool. And
Oh, a
snacks.
centre finding ruler. That's clever. Imagine you're drilling a number plate on a car and you want to find the middle and then go out that way.
Oh, is that how that works?
I think so.
And Martin, there's snacks in here, which either he or Customs have opened. Because they're all open.
Probably.
But that's all right. We'll still munch them. We've got Monster Munch, pickled onion flavour, which is what I'm about to try. Hula hoops, never heard of those either. And more hula hoops, salt and vinegar. I'm going to smash into all of that. Thank you very much for sending that in.
That's awesome.
Really, really appreciate it. And
cool.
yeah, Tom, thank you very much for sending all that stuff in. It's been a huge episode.
It's been a big one.
It's been massive. Martin, let's just run straight into random meat bag. Each week on the show, we expand the mouth holes to expand the brain holes to expand the consciousness throughout all galaxies.
That's right. That's exactly what we do. Something like that. But I don't think I'm going to be having any strawberry and cucumber with green tea and aloe vera.
Martin, I'm keen to try...
I want a strawberry and a cucumber. I don't necessarily want the green tea.
Martin, I want to try a jammy Dodger.
Yeah, these are very well known, mate. These
Are they
like,
really?
These are a
What
thing.
country are these from?
These are from the UK, I believe.
Are they?
Yeah. Well, it sounds very UK, doesn't
A
it?
jammy Dodger.
Cheers,
Is that
mate.
how you say jammy
In it.
Dodger? In it. Thank you very much.
Believe the hype.
Chewy, jammy, dodgy. That's delicious. And it's not too sweet.
No. Good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging with us. Martin, most embarrassing car to take to a car meet?
No, because someone somewhere's
For
taken-
you.
What do you mean?
Don't worry about insulting everyone. If I turned up in a Tesla Model 3, I'd be embarrassed. I'd park it somewhere else and then walk to the meet. What car for you would you be embarrassed in?
Amarok.
Why you be like that?
Being like anything. You asked me the question. I tried to avoid answering it. You pushed me, so I answered it.
But that's our current project car.
Yeah, it's great. And except
do you
maybe
not-
not for taking it to meets though. Like, why would you drive your Amarok to a meet?
It's not about why you would, it's about if you'd be embarrassed to be in that car at a meet.
Oh, you asked the question.
Would
and I
you?
answered it. I like to drive it around Australia.
Would you rather it be in a Tesla Model 3 or an Amarok?
Oh, Model 3, all day.
Would you rather be in a Tesla Model 3 or a Golf GTI?
Oh, that's harder. They're both
Okay, I'm glad
embarrassing.
that's hard because it means you don't like either of them.
Yeah, both embarrassing. No, a Tesla Model 3 is pretty cool, actually. I mean, the one I drove, like I said, fastest car I've ever driven. I like fast cars. And I realise this. I really like fast cars.
Martin,
Always have. I like cars that have grip. That's why I like all drive, because you can use the power, because you're a fast car. it's just
Tesla
real drive.
Model 3 or Hyundai i20N?
Oh, I want it all day.
Tesla Model 3 or Hyundai i30N?
Model 3.
i30N or an Amarok?
Which would I take to a meet?
Yeah.
i30N.
What would you rather own?
Amarok. We've spoken about this so many times, and no one's watching now, so it doesn't matter what we say. The Amarok has so much utility. You know what I mean? Like put a tow in the back, pay no tax, etc. Which is why people buy them. It's the only reason people buy them. Otherwise they go buy a real four-wheel drive like a Land Rover. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Or a 79 series.
no. 79 series, no one likes Nissan.
Well, just
anyway.
get the ultimate four-wheel drive. Just go buy a Jimny. It does everything.
Jimneys are good.
Goes everywhere.
Yep.
Small, light, fuel efficient, etc. You know what I mean?
Yep. I don't know what episode this is because I'm not professional enough to remember.
No, neither.
What I can say is that episode 150 is going to be the biggest thing the internet's ever seen.
Well, that we've ever seen on the
No.
internet. I mean, there's some pretty big things on the internet, man. Think about it. Like Coney, remember? No, there's some big stuff.
Like what?
Gyro Jones, that was pretty big.
Martin, it's going to be the biggest thing anyone's ever seen.
Anyone?
Anyone.
Or we've seen?
Anyone? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? How can it be the biggest thing
Okay.
anyone's ever seen? No, I'm serious.
Why?
Like, how can it be the biggest thing anyone's ever seen? We don't know there's all sorts of big stuff happening.
I told you what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's huge. It's massive.
Yeah,
I just
so-
know it's bigger than Coney.
What's coning?
Coning? Coney.
What's that?
That thing. And what was the other thing? What's some other thing? That thing that happened? Everyone like
the rope
grouped
swing?
together. Yeah, rope swing. There's all those
Big
sort of
rope swing?
things. Yeah.
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 It won't be as cool as a big rope swing.
Well,
But it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah. Would you do a big rope swing?
No,
No.
don't want to.
I don't want to bungee jump.
Too busy
I'd
in
probably
my
swing on a
Amarok.
rope. Would you?
Yeah. All right. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get a hat. Get a shirt. First 100 of that combo, you'll get one of these. Thanks, everyone.
Get your hands on a
See
jammy
ya.
Dodger too.